We're talking to Beth. She is the Crisis Centre manager working for MIND BLMK. It's Friday. It's the last day, Beth, for goodness sake. This week has gone by really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. It really has, hasn't it? The week's just whizzed by.
Sometimes feels like that, doesn't it? Now, look, today we want to talk about bereavement, because it really is an area. Obviously, we were reminded, sadly, we lost Captain Tom earlier in the week. And that actually, for some people, it hits them quite hard, because they might again recount to other people that they've known who've died. And a death kind of like can do that, right? It can remind you. I mean, I was reminded of my dad and my mum, do you know what I mean? Because they both have died. And we were just talking about celebrating a life, as opposed to just remembering how they died. But there was kind of something very positive. So what did Mind and what are Mind doing about bereavement in the Milton Keynes area?
As you say, Simon, it's a huge issue at the moment. I think, as well as having to manage lots of worries and sadness about what's going on, sadly, people are losing people, and it's even it's almost worse now, as somebody that is losing a loved one, especially if they've gone into hospital. We're seeing people that are coming to the Crisis Cafe that weren't able to see their mum or their dad or their sister or their brother in their last hours, because they weren't allowed into the hospital because of the situation. And that's heartbreaking, isn't it? That's harrowing.
Yeah.
To not be able to be there in their loved ones' last moments. But yeah, I mean, personally speaking, we support people, because if when you lose someone, that can maybe lead to a crisis, and it can lead to you feeling really low, and you needing support. So we are seeing people that are coming to the Crisis Cafe and they're booking appointments, and we're giving people that time just to kind of talk through that. And like I say, we are seeing a lot of people come forward that are losing loved ones during this time, not just for COVID, but for other things. And it's difficult, because it's almost like we're, as a society, we're in a state of kind of constant mourning, and we're struggling mentally. And so if somebody that we know dies, and like you say, if somebody, a public figure like Captain Tom, dies, it can bring on our own, it can bring memories forward of our own kind of losses. And yeah, it's difficult. So we've got the Crisis Cafe, we've got crisis support, we've also got the counselling that we run in Milton Keynes. We have got the peer support groups as well, and again, they're free to access. And that's also, yeah, that's a space that you can come to, and you can talk about what you're feeling. So we've got lots of support at Mind for bereavement. We've also, I think the funding's coming to an end now. So, but we did have a service which supported families of those who decided to end their lives. So families of suicide. We used to have that service. So there's a number of services that we offer, but yeah, it's just a very difficult time for people, and bereavement's a difficult thing to manage anyway, let alone the situation at the moment. So
yeah, absolutely. I think there's a moment where my wife's mother is in hospital at the moment, and we think we're in final weeks, and we can't see her, and she has been moved to a hospital in Taunton, even further away than where she was living, because the local hospitals were all packed. So it's another pressure on people at this time, and we completely understand it. So we're very grateful. There are organizations like Mind who can help and support us at times like this, even just to offload, even if it's just to have a chat about it. And I think like you say, some of the time, lots of things are dealt with by just offloading, just chatting, just getting it off your chest, just knowing that someone has heard and listened to what you have to say. Because sometimes somebody might ask me, how am I? And I go, yeah, I'm fine. But actually, they really want to know how I am? They just want to know, let's make sure we're okay. So it's great that there are organizations there like Mind who can support us at this time. Your final top tip then, Beth, for Friday on here, what is it? What's your final top tip for us for mental health this week?
I'm going to go with gratitude. I'm going to go with taking notice of your blessings. I'm going to go so for some people they might write a gratitude journal, and it might be about writing 5 things a day that you're grateful for. That can be quite difficult for some people, particularly if you're feeling quite low. But even if you just find one thing, it reinforces your mind to think a bit more positively. And it's the area of psychology is, like, they call it positive psychology. So it's about kind of reminding yourself that there are some good things that are going on, and it's easy to forget that when there are lots of negative things, and the news is kind of in your face, and there's this many deaths and there's this many infection rates, and this and it's bombarding you, and it's easy to feel low, and it's easy to feel to not take that on board is quite difficult. So it's about kind of finding things and taking note, even if you just on your daily walk that I recommended earlier in the week, listening to the birds and thinking, wow, that's such a beautiful thing, like taking notice of those little things. Because what can sometimes happen is we're all like this, but we kind of go into a routine and we go into autopilot, and whatever we do, we get up and then we turn on our laptops and we get going and we do our work, and then we turn them off, and then we make dinner and we look after the kids and whatever we do, and then we do the same the next day. What about kind of getting up and being thankful for another day? What about kind of noticing how comfortable your bed was that night, and how well you slept? Being kind of grateful for the fact that you have a job, or it could be whatever it is, even if it's a small thing. Just kind of trying to remind yourself that there are things in your life that are good and that are positive. It can have a real impact, and the evidence is showing how important it is and how influential it can be in your mental health, just to keep noticing the little things that you have, and that's my final tip, I think, for the week, is to be grateful and to notice the little things.
Thank you, Beth. This has been great. I've really enjoyed talking to you all this week. If you've missed any of the interviews, they are available on my YouTube channel, Simon on Radio. You can have a little look and search that up, and you can hear the whole interview there and see the little clips of myself talking to Beth all this week. So Beth, thank you once again. You're the Crisis Centre Manager for Mind BLMK. Remember, you can get all your information from mind-blmk.org.uk. Beth,